What can you tell us about where the relationship between Jim and Bullock is going at this point? I feel like they've both kind of come to an understanding that I'm going to be the way I am, and you're going to be the way you are. But what sort of more test do you think we'll see that relationship put through?
Well, yeah, I mean, they. I think you put it well, actually. Harvey has accepted who Jim is, for better or worse, in Harvey's opinion, and likewise, Jim has been dragging Harvey along on his moral crusade. But at some point, if he's dead weight, he'll cut him loose. I think you saw in the last episode that Harvey turned on Jim and gave testimony against Jim to release Flass, and Jim ended up doing the right thing and actually gave Harvey his file back, which had all the dirt that Loeb had on him. So they're at a bit of a detente, I guess. It's definitely not a lovey-dovey relationship. But over time, there's a certain amount of trust that's developed in a strange way, respect maybe. It'll be a very interesting situation moving forward. Yeah.
So speaking of lovey-dovey relationships, I'm a big fan of the character. Yes, right. Well, Leslie Tompkins actually is a character I've really wanted to see brought to life on screen. I was always surprised Nolan never used her. She would have fit right in. So very happy that Gordon and Tompkins are together. However, Barbara has kind of come back in the scene, and she's going a little off the rails a little bit. What can you tell us about Gordon's love life in the last few episodes there, and sort of how that's going to come to a head?
Gordon's love life in the last few episodes is chaotic, to say the least. He's developed this relationship with Tompkins. It's in many ways an excellent relationship. They're really kindred spirits in so many ways. But Barbara has come back wanting to be back with Jim, only to discover that he is in the arms of someone else. This whole sort of romantic triangle will be put through the ringer when Jim takes on the case of the ogre, serial killer who targets the loved ones of cops who come after him. Jim, being Jim, cannot help but pursue the case, even though he knows this someone he loves could see harm, and this will have disastrous consequences.
And then my final question is, obviously we had a couple of teases of possible Jokers. Will we see any more kind of Joker teases throughout the last 4 episodes, or is that being saved for next season?
I would say it's more next season. The idea, as far as I understand it from Bruno, throughout the series is to tease out multiple possible Jokers, potentially even follow multiple possible Jokers, to keep the audience guessing as to who the true identity of the Joker is. So it'll be an ongoing process. The last 4 are really focused on every other character that we already have sort of a full kitchen cabinet. So we've got to be judicious about who we focus on. But I think Cameron, who played the possible Joker in the circus episode, did a phenomenal job. And obviously we have the stand-up comedians in the club who can come on and possibly be Jokers. I mean, and the Red Hood gang, and I mean, it just goes on and on and on.
One last thing. Am I finally going to get my Hugo Strange on screen anytime? Bruno told me at TCA's we might get Hugo Strange this season, and so far, no Hugo.
I'd be in favor of that. I haven't seen, I don't think they've fully fleshed out what season 2 is yet. I think I'm going to go back in and talk about that at the end of the month here. But yeah, I'd be in favor of that for sure.